Okay, so now I'm going to walk you through the basic HTML assignment. This is going to be part one of your assignment. And I'm going to show you essentially what we went through in class. I want to go over it again, walk you through each step. So in case you were a little lost in class or we went a little too fast, hopefully now you'll get caught up. Once you download the PDF that goes along with the basic HTML, this is the portion I am going to be focusing on right here under format of an HTML file. I know that looks like a lot, but I'm going to show you what that turns into and how it applies to your HTML assignment. So now that we have our plain text right here, text edit, we're in plain text mode. Watch the text edit tutorial in case you're getting a ruler across the screen, or check the first paragraph of the handout on the basic HTML to get rid of that ruler. You have to do so before you start writing code. So remember, the first thing you're going to do is start the HTML tag. And remember, anytime you start a tag, you close a tag. So I'm going to go ahead and leave that right there. We're going to put some information in the head. So I'm going to go ahead and close the head as well. And the information that's going to go ahead in the head is our title. So you're going to want to put your name here. So I'm just going to write Dale Blassingame, and I'm going to close the title. That's all that's going to go in the head, so I'm going to get rid of that. You want to keep your coding as organized as possible. Now, I do want to, we're going to have the body tag, but I'm going to also put an attribute and a value here to go ahead and change the background color in the body tag. So remember how to do that. We just go right here, equals, and then I'm just going to do simple red. So that's good. And I'm going to go down here and close the body tag just so we make sure we have that. And now we're ready to start with the content of our page. I'm going to do a header here, and we're going to walk through that. Welcome to my website. And I can do a lot more there if I want to, but I'm going to go ahead and end it there just for simplicity's sake. Okay, so now I want to go ahead and put an image of myself here. Now remember, the way to write an image is you start the image tag, then you're telling it the source. You want the equals, the quote, and now this is the image I'm going to use right here. It's my name, all lowercase, .jpg. So when I go back here, I need to write it just like that. Now, if I write Dale with a capital D, it's not going to work. If I write Dale.jpeg, it's not going to work. You need to have it with the exact name, how you have it labeled. And remember, your file and the image need to be in the same house. So because I'm going to save this to the desktop first, that's where my image is right now. Now remember that we close image tags differently. We put a space, the slash, and then we close the tag right there. So that's going to insert my image right there. Now I'm going to start putting some content. So I start the P tag for the paragraph tag, and I want to make this bold. Bold is you know what bold is. Bold's the bigger font, the thicker font, and the way you do that in HTML code is with the strong tag. That signifies to your browser that this is the way the text should look. You want it bold. So I'm going to switch it up a little bit and say, my name is Dale, and I thank you for stopping by my website. Now that's where I want the bold to end. So I'm going to close the strong, and I can just keep typing here. Now I ask you for 3 paragraphs. I'm not going to do that for time's sake, but I'm just going to write one more line. I am a professor at Texas State University, and I teach digital journalism. Okay, so that's the end of that paragraph, so I'm going to close that paragraph font. So if you notice, we have an HTML font, or HTML tag close. We have a head tag close. Title tag close. Body tag starts right there, body tag close. We have our H1 closed, our image tag, remember images close differently. We have a P tag closed, strong tag closed, so we're good to go. So now I'm going to insert a couple of links on this page. I'm going to put a little subhead here. We'll do an H2, so it's a little bit smaller than the H1. And I need to make sure and close that. So now if you remember correctly, hrefs are the way we do links. So I'm going to start that right there. Actually, I'm going to put it in a paragraph first. So ahref equals, and then I want this to go to Google. And remember to close the tag, close the quote, close that right there. And then this is what's going to be linked. Now I'm going to close the A tag and say Google is my favorite search engine. And I'm going to close that paragraph. So now I'm going to go to the next line, start the paragraph again. We'll do another ahref, and this time let's go to Wired magazine. And Wired is where I want to send the link. That's what the wording I want linked. Wired is my favorite magazine. And we remember to close the P tag. And let's do one more. And we'll do the New York Times. So I'm going to close that. And is my favorite newspaper. Oops. There we go. So now we've closed everything. We have 3 working links. So remember, we also have lists that we can do. So I'm going to start another subhead here. And let's do favorite musicians. I need to close that H2. So now I'm going to do a unordered list here because I don't want my favorite musicians seeing this and getting offended that I ranked one above the other. So I'm going to do an unordered list, and I'm going to go ahead and close that right down here, and then we will get started on the list right here. So just to keep things in order, I'm going to indent a little bit. You don't necessarily have to do this, but it can help. I love Gary Clark Jr. And now I'm going to close that list item. Justin Timberlake. And we'll throw in Bombay Bicycle Club as well. So now I'll have an unordered list with those musicians right here. And we've got that closed. And then finally, I'm going to throw in a little bit of contact information here. So we have one more subhead. And then after that, I'm going to start a new paragraph. For more information, email me. And I'm just going to go ahead and type out my email. I'm not going to link it. And we're going to close that paragraph tag. Okay, so now we've also got the body tag closed down here. We have the HTML tag closed. So we should be good to go unless I have forgotten anything. So let's see what it looks like the first time we try it. So when you go to save and text edit, you're going to go to save. And remember, I want you to save it with your last name, and then you have to insert the .html. You notice right here, if you don't provide it, it's just going to do it as a text file. And we don't want that. We want this as an HTML file. So save as your last name, all lowercase, .html. And this is going to save to my desktop because remember, that's where my image is. So that's where I want it saved right now. I'm going to go ahead and save. Yes, I want to use HTML. Okay, so now let's test out the site, which we think we have everything, but let's see if we do. So if you go right here to File, Open File, You can do this in any browser, and let's go ahead and open the blastinggame.html file. Okay, looks good so far. We've got our red background, we've got our image with me, we have our bold font here, we have our continuation, we have our first couple of links, but look what happens when I try to scroll down. The page just stops. So that is a good sign that something is wrong. So let's go back to our text, and here's where the problem is happening with this line right here. So hopefully you've already spotted the problem, but in case you hadn't, we forgot the quote right there. So now we need to resave our file, and now let's refresh. Hey, and now all of a sudden it's working again. So you can see we've got the New York Times, Google Wired. If we want to, we can check that, and it's going to Google, so we're good. Here's our unordered list of musicians and our contact information. So everything is good to go. Okay, so now what? So now we need to upload everything to Tracks. So I'm going to go ahead and log into Tracks quickly. And you're going to go to the FDOM site. You're going to go to the Dropbox. You will only see your own name. I've got everyone's name here except for my own, so I'm going to go to View as a Student. Here is my Dropbox. So I'm going to upload a file, and I'm going to upload my blastinggame.html. And now I'm going to add another file, and remember we need the image as well so that it will continue to work. So now I'm going to upload both of those files, and when you click on blastinggame.html, everything works.